we've got 2 guest speakers, and Math 8 is starting or getting ready to start a project. Algebra, hopefully we'll have you'll be involved in parts of it, and hopefully you can finish up with the Suncatcher later on in the year as our curriculum allows. But we've got Mike Russ, who's a Chemo buddy here, and we have Jill Kincaid, who's the founder of Chemo Buddies, and we're getting ready to start a service learning project that is very near and dear to my heart. We started it last year, and it went over very, very well. The kids did an amazing job, and so we're going to continue that this year with you guys helping out. And for those of you that don't know, I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2 years ago, August 2012. Started school, second year here. We were getting ready, come back to school, ready to go, gung-ho, everything else. And go to the doctor, and 2 weeks later they tell me that I have breast cancer. And so this is just some random pictures of me kind of throughout my journey. My oldest is now 11, but she was 9 at the time. My middle child is 9, he was 6 whenever I told, and my youngest one, you can see her down there at the bottom, she was 18 months old when I was diagnosed. So this is us right before Race for the Cure in 2012, right before I had surgery. And that's difficult. That's real difficult. When you think you're healthy, I kind of watched what I ate. I played volleyball, basketball, softball. I still played in volleyball games. I considered myself pretty much healthy, did what I needed to do, and then they tell you that you have cancer. So I had to obviously come to school and tell my family here, because obviously everybody here is your second family. You have your ones at home, so I had to tell everybody here. And you can see in this picture, everybody kind of rallied behind me, which was great, and they all purchased the shirts and things. This was my last chemo treatment that was there. This is my first year as a survivor with one of my best friends that I met out at OHA going through chemo. And then there's me and the kiddos being goofy about halfway through treatment there. But Chemo Buddies is an organization that when you go to chemo, they help you out. And I don't know, we kind of asked in the first block, how many of you know someone that has or currently has cancer? Yeah. That's lots. Lots and lots and lots. And I don't, for me, that feeling is they tell you have cancer. I told first block that C word was really, it is still to this day kind of hard to say. It is what it was known as for a long time for me. I had it, and I just couldn't come to the grasp to say that I had it. I knew people that had it. I have relatives that have passed away from it. But I didn't expect, I was 36. People at 36 don't have cancer. They don't get that, which I did. So they tell you have to have chemo, and I thought, oh no. You hear all the horror stories with chemo, and you've seen people on TV that have chemo and all that stuff, and I thought, I'm going to be sick, I'm going to be in bed, I'm not going to be able to do anything, I've got an 18-month-old, what am I going to do? So you go to the treatment room, I go to treatment, and you walk in, and it's scary. It's really scary, because you don't know whether you're going to get sick, whether you're going to, I was afraid, am I going to pass out? Am I going to sleep the whole time? Am I going to have to, what's going to happen to me? And you have this complete, do you know the saying, deer in the headlight? Yeah, that's exactly what I was. When you walk in there, there's this huge room with, I don't know, 30 or 40 chairs sitting in there, and you know you're going to sit in one of those, and they're going to put this medicine in you that's going to cause you to be sick or lose weight or gain weight, or for me, the biggest thing was I was going to lose my hair. And I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but for me, losing my hair was traumatic. That was the worst thing in the entire world for me. I'll be honest with you, my daughter, who was 9 at the time, we were going to make it fun, just cut it and whatever else. She didn't want any part of it. She's like, do it while I'm at basketball practice. So we did. It was one night we shaved it at home. My youngest one, she cried the entire time we did it because she thought Dad was hurting Mom. And we realized when we were done, that's not what was happening. So my son was playing Wii. He could have cared less. But my oldest one didn't. She was fine. She could come home when it was gone. It was okay. But she struggled with that as well. But with Chemo Buddies, when you go get chemo, you're there for a long period of time. I was there anywhere from, depending on which treatment I was getting, I was there for an hour and a half to 6 hours. And you're hooked up to this pole that's got all these bags hanging down here from here. You can kind of see it it's this thing here. So you've got this whole thing here. So if you're going to get up, you've got to drag this whole thing with you. You know, if you see them in the hospital, they walk with the IV poles. That's what we look like there when we have to go around. And it's sometimes difficult. You got to unplug it from the wall and everything else. Well, these people are absolutely fantastic because you walk in completely scared. You're the only one there that has hair, so everybody looks at you like you're the newbie. And you sit down and they walk up to you and say, welcome, which you wouldn't think. You're kind of like, I'm here to get chemo, not welcome. But they do. They make you smile. They make you laugh. They do all kinds of stuff. They bring you this goodie bag that had a journal. It had a crossword puzzle. I got a blanket. I got a fleece blanket. I was telling Jill at lunchtime, my son slept with that blanket for about a year. It wasn't a big one, but that was his comfort for there. He slept with that. So when you're sitting there for 6 hours, you usually want something to drink or things like that, and to carry that pole is sometimes difficult to do. So they were right there by you to go, do you need a drink? What do you need? And they helped us out. They helped us out tremendously. They didn't always talk, but it kind of took our mind off of it. You know, when you're there and you see all these people with IV bags, what do you think of? Cancer and being sick and everything else. And they've kind of taken our mind off of that. So Mike was my chemo buddy. Every Wednesday I would go and he was there, and as soon as we walked in, he knew what was going on, and when had my drink, he knew I wanted a glass of water. It was right there for me, ready to go. So did you want to show the video first? Is that what we want to do? So we're going to show you a video on how Chemo Buddies got started, and then I got a little bit more to say, but that's kind of my story. When I finished up chemo and things like that, I wanted to come back and I started talking to Tabitha wasn't here yet, Miss Sarah wasn't here yet, but the other three were here, and I said, I've got this organization that we've got to help because they helped me a whole lot. So they helped me come up with this idea of what we're going to do to help cancer patients. So I want you to watch this video. And then